Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to Mindful Nutrinet. I'm Nella, and I'm genuinely excited and honored to journey with you again. So let's explore nutrition, health, and spirituality together. In today's episode, we'll dive deep into the world of sleep. Let's try to understand the mysteries of our internal clock and uncover the essentials of sleep hygiene. Because, as it turns out, a good night's sleep is more crucial to our well-being than many of us realize. So, whether you are a night owl, an early bird, or someone constantly battling sleepless nights, I dedicate this episode to you. Let's talk about sleep first. It's something we all cherish, but often take for granted. I think we've all experienced those nights where we toss and turn, struggling to drift off, feeling groggy the next morning. Or those times when we burn the midnight oil, believing we are being productive, only to find that we have no energy the next day. Why is it this way? The secret lies in a phenomenon that dates back to the very origins of life on Earth, our circadian rhythm. What is the circadian rhythm then? You probably heard the term before, but you might not fully understand the concept. It's derived from the Latin word circa, meaning around, and diem, meaning day. The circadian rhythm quite literally translates to around a day. And that's precisely what it is. A roughly 24-hour cycle that dictates various physiological processes in almost all living organisms. Now, imagine for a moment our ancient ancestors. They didn't have the luxury of artificial lights or digital devices. Their lives were deeply intertwined with the rhythm of the sun. As the sun rose, they woke up. As it set, they settled down. And this day-night cycle has been a fundamental part of the Earth's design for billions of years. And life on our planet has evolved in harmony with this cycle. This evolution has embedded a sense of time within us and all living beings, aligning our internal processes with the external environment. Our bodies, much like those of other organisms, contain an intricate internal clock. This isn't a ticking clock like the one on your wall, but a biological one situated in the hypothalamus region of your brain, known as the suprachiasmatic nucleus, or SCN. And this master clock orchestrates a symphony of bodily functions from when we feel awake to when we are hungry, and even when certain hormones are released. In essence, the circadian rhythm ensures our body's internal processes are in sync, allowing us to function optimally in relation to the world outside. It's fascinating to think about it, that deep within us we have a rhythm, a pulse that's connected to the very fabric of Earth and the universe. It's this rhythm that we'll explore today, understanding how it affects our sleep, our health, and our overall well-being. Now, let's talk about the science behind circadian rhythm. More precisely, how it manifests in our hormone production. The key players in this space are melatonin and cortisol. In the middle of our head, we have the pineal gland, which is a tiny but very powerful organ. As the name refers, it's the size of a pine nut. It's also called the third eye, basically our antenna that is responsive to electromagnetic fields. It plays an important role in how we perceive and respond to the world around us. As we keep our focus on dark light cycles and hormones today, let's just say that pineal gland is the cornerstone of our endocrine, aka hormonal system. It is responsible for producing two crucial hormones, serotonin and melatonin. First, let's zoom in on melatonin. It is often termed the sleep hormone, and it is the premier hormone secreted by the pineal gland. What's its role then? To keep us harmoniously synchronized with the world. It helps us stay attuned to the seasonal balance between day and night and aligns our sleep-wake cycle with the ever-changing patterns of daylight and darkness. This becomes particularly evident as we transition between the winter and summer solstice. In addition, melatonin is a potent antioxidant. It bolsters our immune function and acts as buffer against stress as it reduces cortisol levels. So, melatonin wears many hats. It influences 3 important systems in bodies: nervous, endocrine, and immune system. And its efficacy is highly reliant on the balance of light and dark in our environment. Even a slight exposure to light during our regular sleep hours, whether it be from TVs, computers, or even digital alarm clocks, and we can disrupt melatonin production. Thus, it throws our sleep patterns out of whack. Let's recap. Melatonin has a pivotal role in both maintaining our connection with the environment and in sleep regulation. So it's no wonder that it's a remedy for issues like insomnia, seasonal affective disorder, and even jet lag. In essence, melatonin is our natural ally, helping us navigate the challenges of modern life, at the same time remaining anchored to the rhythms of the natural world. If we want to feel good, we need to honor this delicate balance and maintain optimal melatonin levels. Now, on the flip side, we have cortisol, sometimes called the stress hormone or wake-up hormone. As dawn breaks, cortisol levels in our bloodstream surge and they act like a natural alarm clock. This increase provides us with the energy and alertness we need to start our day. On the other hand, if you have elevated cortisol levels at night, it can disrupt your sleep. And this is why we need to manage stress and ensure there's a proper balance. Moving forward, the circadian rhythm's influence doesn't stop at hormones. Our body temperature too flows with this rhythm. Typically, our core temperature drops during the nighttime, facilitating better sleep, and rises as we approach daytime, making our bodies ready for activity. Cortisol and melatonin aren't the only aspects that the circadian rhythm influences. Let's look into metabolism. So, we have hormones to regulate both hunger and satiety. Did you know that a disrupted circadian rhythm can skew the delicate balance between those hormones? Sleep has a huge part in maintaining a harmonious equilibrium between these 2 hormones. It ensures that we feel hungry when we need nourishment and full when we've had enough. I think we've all experienced simple carb and stimulant cravings, like coffee for instance, on a day followed by bad night's sleep or simply too little sleep. I definitely have. This was especially relevant during the first months after my son was born. My sleep pattern was horribly out of whack, and so were the cravings and eating habits. I only wish I knew back then everything I know now, but it's been my path, and no doubt necessary. Now, there's more to sleep and metabolism. Here's where insulin jumps in. It's a crucial hormone for blood sugar regulation and cellular nourishment. As it turns out, our sleep patterns have a huge impact on the way our body responds to insulin. If we get adequate quality sleep, we ensure that our cells respond well to insulin and keep our blood sugar levels in check. However, a lack of proper sleep can hinder this insulin sensitivity. If we are less sensitive to insulin, it leads to elevated blood sugar levels, and over time, we increase the risk of becoming insulin resistant, meaning our pancreas releases insulin, but it doesn't have its required effect. So here you have it, another reason to align your daily activities with your natural circadian rhythm, because getting good sleep is essential to your metabolic health. Let's wrap up circadian rhythm. In essence, it operates like a master conductor. It orchestrates various physiological processes and ensures that they work in harmony. When this rhythm is disrupted, we are out of sync. That's why it's paramount to understand and respect our internal clock and to make sure it remains in harmony with the natural world. Next, let's see what might happen if you disrupt your circadian rhythm. As discussed, it has a larger impact than just getting a good night's sleep or waking up refreshed. You can lead yourself to a myriad of health complications. Let's tackle them one by one. First up is the most obvious. If you disregard circadian rhythm, you most probably will have sleep disorders. There are different conditions that fall under this category. For example, insomnia, where you find it hard to fall asleep, or sleep apnea, where your breathing repeatedly stops and starts. Next, obesity and metabolic syndromes. As already discussed previously, our body's ability to process food and store energy is closely tied to our sleep-wake cycle. When this gets out of balance, you can steer yourself towards weight gain and even metabolic syndromes. These conditions include increased blood pressure, high blood sugar, excess body fat around the waist, and abnormal cholesterol and triglyceride levels. So, if you have irregular sleep patterns, you'll affect your appetite regulating hormones, meaning you'll have increased hunger and you eat more. A good illustration: insufficient sleep increases energy expenditure by 100 kilocalories per day, but also increases energy intake by more than 250 kilocalories per day, resulting in a positive energy balance and weight gain. I have another good illustration for this. Even our microbiomes seem to have their own circadian rhythms. If you put people on a plane and fly them halfway around the world, then feed their poop to mice, those mice grow fatter than mice fed their pre-flight feces. Though it may have just been bad airline food or something, the researchers suggest the fattening flora were a consequence of circadian misalignment. That's powerful. Moving on with disrupting effects. Diabetes. As touched upon earlier, sleep has a direct influence on how our body reacts to insulin. If our sleep is disrupted, we might have higher blood sugar levels and therefore increased risk of type 2 diabetes. There are even potential links to cancer. Some research suggests that long-term disruption of the circadian rhythm might increase the risk of certain cancers. It's mainly because the sleep-wake cycle greatly affects the proper functioning of neuroendocrine immune system, the inflammatory responses, and the DNA damage repair systems. Moreover, tumors secrete an increased level of inflammatory cytokines. Those are small proteins that are crucial in controlling the growth and activity of other immune system cells and blood cells. When released, they signal the immune system to do its job. Cytokines affect the growth of all blood cells and other cells that help the body's immune and inflammation responses. So, tumors secrete these inflammatory cytokines, which in turn could control the homeostasis of several sleep processes. This indicated that there's a complex crosstalk between cancers and sleep-wake cycles, and therefore it is highly encouraged to maintain regular sleep pattern. You'll not only prevent cancer, but also other disorders. Let's move on from physical to mental consequences. First up, mood disorders. I'm sure you've all felt irritable after a bad night's sleep. However, if you have consistent disruptions in your sleep pattern, it can lead to more serious mood disorders like depression and anxiety. It's because sleep and mood are intimately connected. As discussed previously, disrupted circadian rhythm can lead to hormonal imbalances that in turn affect our emotional state. Cognitive impairments are also an issue. A good night's sleep isn't just about feeling rested, it's crucial for our brain to function optimally. Disrupting our circadian rhythm can affect our attention, problem solving, and memory. And over time, chronic sleep disruption can even lead to long-term memory issues and decreased cognitive functions. We already mentioned that sleep restriction increases the drive to eat and therefore excess food intake. As it turns out, this isn't as much caused by not sleeping enough, but is more related to cognitive control and reward mechanisms. Finally, a consistent sleep pattern is vital for our overall mental well-being. It plays a significant role in stress regulation, decision making, and even our interpersonal relationships. In essence, respecting our circadian rhythm is fundamental if we want to have good physical and mental health. When we align our lives with it, we are not just improving our sleep, we are enhancing our overall quality of life. Okay, now we know what circadian rhythm is and why it is crucial to not have it disrupted. But how can you align yourself with it for maximum benefits? The key here is to have a good sleep hygiene. So let's explore what good sleep hygiene is. If someone has good sleep hygiene, it means that they have a set of habits and behaviors that contribute to regular, restful, and adequate sleep. It means you have daily habits and sleep environment that promote consistent and uninterrupted sleep. Now, here come the perks of this podcast. I give you practical tips for maintaining a good sleep hygiene. First things first, you need to have a consistent sleep schedule. It's crucial to go to bed and get up at the same time every day, even on weekends. Yes. By having this consistency, you reinforce your body's sleep-wake cycle and help improve the quality of your sleep. I'll talk more about social jet lags further down the road when I dive into the role of our modern life in disrupting circadian rhythm and sleep patterns. Next, quite important I'd say, relying on personal experience, and that's bedtime ritual. How do you go to sleep? What precedes? Do you phase off straight after switching off your TV or scrolling through social media, or maybe right after an argument? This is not the way. Instead, establish a calming pre-sleep routine. For example, read or listen to a book, listen to soft music, practice meditation, or soak in a hot bath with Epsom salts and calming essential oils. And you can alternate. It doesn't have to be the same every night. In my youth, I often watched TV until I couldn't keep my eyes open. Now, I find calming activities the best before sleep. I might listen to a podcast, meditate, sing mantras, read a book, or simply have a conversation with my hubby and son. You'll find what works best for you. That being said, it should be common sense to limit screen time at least an hour, better even 2 hours before bed. It's because the blue light emitted by phones, tablets, computers, and TVs can interfere with melatonin, the hormone that regulates sleep. Computers and phones also have a light setting which you can turn on, and they automatically switch to warmer, yellower tones after a certain time. I have it turned on both the computer and phone. There are also blue light classes if you need to watch your screen close to bedtime. There are other things that are better to avoid before bedtime. For example, large or heavy meals, caffeine and alcohol, as these all can disrupt sleep. I'd recommend stopping eating altogether at least 2 hours before you go to bed. If you're hungry and need a small bite, have something easy to digest like plain fruits or vegetables. Also, try not to drink anything an hour before to reduce nighttime trips to the bathroom. One thing is stimulating foods or beverages, but there are also such activities. Try to avoid stressful or stimulating activities before bedtime. For example, discussing emotional issues, watching intense TV shows or news, and working. It includes workouts about 2 hours before bed. A walk is fine, but intense workouts should be scheduled latest for the afternoon. The best way to schedule your workouts to promote better sleep are as follows. Aerobic or resistance in the morning, as it may stimulate earlier melatonin release in the evening. Then high-intensity workouts in the afternoon to promote sound sleep by reducing wakefulness. And light resistance or aerobic activities may be performed in the evening as they may reduce nighttime awakenings. Now, you've had your bedtime ritual and you are actually going to bed. Optimal sleeping environment is the next crucial thing. Your bedroom should be a haven for sleep. Make it dark, quiet and cool. Consider using earplugs, an eye shade or a white noise machine if needed. Also, mattress and pillows play a role here. Make sure they are comfortable. I find hard mattress the best. We just recently bought a new harder one and my body, especially my back, is thanking me. Next, try to use your bedroom only for sleep and intimacy. Avoid working, watching TV or other activities there. This strengthens the mental association between your bedroom and sleep. I personally also read and sometimes meditate in the bedroom. You can find your own balance. Also crucial, don't have any electronics turned on in the bedroom while you sleep. Now you've done all the above, but you still can't sleep. If you're unable to sleep after about 20 minutes, leave your bedroom and engage in a quiet, non-stimulating activity like reading, meditating, or listening to music or a podcast. Of course, avoid stimulating ones. Then return to bed when you're tired. Another option would be Yoga Nidra, which is one of my favorites. It's basically a type of meditation where you go through all your body parts one by one, fingers and armpits, your legs, your toes, soles, everything, your back, your head, your eyes, your lips, everything. You do the right side of your body first, then the left side, then the back of your body and the front of your body. I usually get through with the right side and I already tend to fall asleep. It's that effective. If you are a beginner, I suggest you find a guided Yoga Nidra session. They are available everywhere, YouTube, Spotify, you find your own. And when you've already done this several times, you can just do it on your own. Now, the next one is easier said than done. That is, postpone worries. If you find yourself anxious at bedtime, jot down your concerns and postpone thinking about them until the next day. It requires practice, but it's possible. And to help you with worrying, rather stop worrying, there are relaxation techniques. For example, deep breathing, meditation, especially Yoga Nidra, visualization, progressive muscle relaxation. The latter is an exercise that reduces stress and anxiety in your body. You slowly tense and then relax each muscle. Well, we can as well go through it right now. And when you need it, you can come back to it. So how do you do it? Start by lying or sitting down. Relax your entire body. Take 5 deep, slow breaths. Lift your toes upward, hold, then let go. Pull your toes downward, hold, then let go. Next, tense your calf muscles, then let go. Move your knees toward each other, hold, then let go. Squeeze your thigh muscles, hold, then let go. Clench your hands, pause, then let go. Tense your arms, hold, then let go. Squeeze your buttocks, pause, then let go. Contract your abdominal muscles, pause, then let go. Inhale and tighten your chest, hold, then exhale and let go. Raise your shoulders to your ears, pause, then let go. Purse your lips together, hold, then release. Open your mouth wide, hold, then let go. Close your eyes tightly, pause, then release. Lift your eyebrows, hold, then release. That's it. If your sleep pattern is really disrupted and you need more help in restoring it, consider light therapy, especially during darker months. Light therapy can stimulate the pineal gland and help regulate your sleep-wake cycle. Let's do a short recap, as there is a lot of information going on here. So, stick to consistent sleep schedule, have a calming ritual before bed, avoid heavy meals and stimulants as well as stimulating activities, check your sleeping environment and make necessary adjustments. It's not too difficult to incorporate these tips into your daily routine. At least I think so. And as a result, you sleep better, have improved mood, concentration, and overall health. Good sleep isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. Next, let's explore a little how modern life might disrupt our sleep and what to do about it. We have distanced ourselves from natural cycles and nature in general. We are programmed to be productive every day, no matter what. And our productivity is often measured by how much money we make or how many followers we have. But what about health and joy? Well, that's another topic altogether. Bottom line, as part of the modern society, we are expected to be on go mode all the time, behind the screens, getting things done, and searching for instant gratification. Let's look into it and what are the factors that disrupt our sleep. First up is technology. Devices like smartphones, tablets and computers, they emit blue light that can inhibit the secretion of melatonin. Add to that the dopamine-driven cycle of checking social media, emails and news, and you have a recipe for disaster. Then 24/7 work culture. We are so global now, which has brought many benefits, but many people are working across multiple time zones and this leads to irregular hours and fragmented sleep. It's the expectation that we'd always be available and online, which further adds to the stress and hampers relaxation. Thirdly, urbanization and noise pollution. Most of us live in cities, which means noise and light pollution. All this can disrupt our sleep environment. The modern lifestyle is often sedentary. We spend long hours in front of screens sitting on our butts. If we don't have enough movement built into our days, our sleep quality and duration will suffer. Then people turn to stimulants like coffee or temporary and short-lived relaxation like alcohol. Obviously, it interferes with your sleep. Caffeine is a stimulant that can delay sleep onset, while alcohol can fragment our sleep. And people want to have it all, so they often overextend themselves and sacrifice sleep to fit in more activities, meaning they have overloaded schedules. I'd also add the social jet lag culture. From a circadian rhythm standpoint, when we go to bed late and sleep in on the weekends, it's as if we flew a few time zones west on Friday evening and flew back east on Monday morning. Yet it is so normalized and so ingrained in our brains that it's even cool to stay up super late and really sleep in during the weekends. What this behavior does, it has the same effect on our body as jet lag, and you do this every week. Population studies suggest that those who have at least an hour of social jet lag a week, which may describe more than 2/3 of people, have twice the odds of being overweight. Something to think about here. Have you noticed that changing your sleeping schedule influences your bowel movements? I certainly have. When I sleep longer, my bowel movement pattern totally gets disrupted, meaning if I sleep through the time when I usually go, my bowels somehow forget about it, and I might not go until the evening or even skip a day, which is not good at all, as it's an important detoxification pathway. Okay, we have created all those disruptions. Now let's see what we can do about them and manage them. First, the good old digital detox. It can be as simple as making time in the evening, at least an hour before bedtime, when you switch off all electronic devices. You can also do day-long or even week-long detoxes from time to time. A good practice for me is having my phone on silent mode and not checking any apps before I've gone through my morning routine. Well, the only app I'm opening is the meditation app, obviously, and that's why I also turn off my airplane mode after I wake up. Otherwise, it could stay on until it's time to check my phone. Next, you need to set boundaries. Establish your work hours and stick to them. Inform your colleagues about it and prevent late night emails or calls. Then we already covered that when talking about sleep hygiene, but it's good to repeat it here. Create your sleep sanctuary, meaning deal with light and noise pollution. If you don't already have them, invest in blackout curtains, earplugs, or white noise machines. In short, make your bedroom a place of rest and relaxation. Now let's fight sedentary lifestyle by staying active every day. Even a 30-minute walk can significantly improve sleep quality. Drink coffee and other caffeine-containing beverages during the first half of the day. If you can't not drink some alcohol, be aware and don't overdo it. Remember, while alcohol might make you drowsy, it can disrupt the stages of your sleep. And I guess you've already gotten the point now. Prioritize sleep. It has tremendous impact on your health, mood, and productivity. It's not an expendable commodity, but a vital aspect of self-care. And to have better quality sleep, seek natural light. Spend time outside during daylight hours because natural sunlight helps regulate our circadian rhythm and improve sleep quality. Studies have shown that regular morning sunlight exposure can help us fall asleep more quickly at night and wake up feeling more refreshed. So it would be ideal to get natural light into your eyes without a window glass between very soon after waking up. It can be as simple as opening a window or going out into the balcony if you don't have time for a walk. People have reported tremendous difference in their sleep quality after doing this for just a week. And finally, practice relaxation techniques, as already mentioned previously. So deep breathing, meditation, or yoga help you wind down and signal your body that it's time to rest. Whew, that was a lot of information again, so let's recap real quick. You can manage the disruptions to your sleep pattern caused by our modern life by doing digital detox, setting boundaries to your work leisure time, creating your own sleep sanctuary, moving your body every day, being aware of how and when you consume caffeine and alcohol, and really prioritizing sleep and getting natural light exposure every day, preferably in the morning. Next up, a really interesting topic. Let's talk about foods, supplements, and herbs that improve the quality of your sleep. There are certain foods that increase the levels of melatonin, more precisely, foods that contain the amino acid tryptophan, vitamin B6, magnesium, calcium, zinc, and folic acid. Now, tryptophan is a precursor to serotonin and melatonin. In fact, serotonin levels are directly related to tryptophan intake. And in order to metabolize it, we need vitamins B6 and C, folic acid, and magnesium. What foods can you eat then to increase the levels of the mentioned substances? First, nuts and seeds, especially pumpkin, sunflower, chia and flax, sesame and almonds. Then legumes, particularly soybeans, tofu, edamame, lentils, chickpeas and white beans. Dark chocolate or cacao, bananas and avocado. Now let's move on to herbs that aid sleep. Chamomile is a great sleep aid. Make a cup of tea before bedtime. Then kava, which works through the nervous system and it lessens anxiety, reduces pain and promotes relaxation. Kava can bring about relaxation without causing brain fog or any lack of mental clarity. However, it may take 1 to 2 months of regular kava use to realize these benefits. Then valerian root tea is another option. More relaxing herbs include vervain, catnip, hops or linden flowers. My own recent discovery is hemp leaf tea, also called CBD hemp tea. I learned more about it when I went to Tallinn's annual vegan fair this year. The lady from Relaxation Land, an Estonian company producing CBD hemp tea, very enthusiastically explained how the CBD hemp tea works on our bodies and nervous system. First and foremost, the tea is made from hemp plant, not the cannabis plant. The dominant compound in hemp is CBD, whereas in cannabis it is THC, which has psychedelic effects. Apparently, drinking CBD hemp tea comes with a range of benefits, but the main ones are associated with calming the nervous system, so switching to a parasympathetic nervous system, relaxation in general, and also better sleep. Now, I can tell you a funny story about drinking this tea for the first time. The lady actually warned that if one has not been consuming any CBD products before, she wouldn't recommend drinking it right before bed, as if your cannabinoid receptors are totally emptied out, this is too much of a boost at once, and it may actually disrupt your sleep so that you won't be able to fall asleep. Now, I had been consuming CBD oil previously, so I didn't think anything of it. So the same night, my hubby and I, we brewed a strong CBD hemp tea for both of us and drank it before bedtime. Now, I immediately felt this calm coming over me, and I hadn't felt relaxed and calm for a long time. So I thought I will have a great sleep that night. Not so fast. In the beginning, it seemed like I would fall asleep quite easily, but to my surprise, even though I felt so calm and relaxed, my mind was racing and I wasn't sleepy at all. I literally didn't fall asleep. I think I spent an hour more in the bed and then I decided to get up and move downstairs, put on some binaural beats and simply be in a meditative state. And this is how I was the whole night, in a meditative state listening to binaural beats. I didn't fall asleep. At 5 a.m. I decided to listen to a podcast and then just half an hour later I got up and started with my morning routine and practices. However, to my surprise, I wasn't feeling too awful the day after. I guess the meditative state and the relaxing effect of the tea did the job. Still, since then I haven't dared to drink the tea before bedtime. Instead, I drink it at daytime, latest the afternoon, and it hasn't messed with my sleep pattern. I've been feeling calm and relaxed, which is great. Bottom line, be cautious when you drink the tea for the first time and do it during the daytime. And as a side note, my husband didn't have any sleep problems. So enjoy a cup of herbal tea in the evening. I personally have welcomed this routine into my pre-sleep ritual, especially during the colder and darker months. I particularly like the mixture of chamomile and ginger. Now let's see which supplement options there are, should you need some. You can begin with just vitamin C, calcium and magnesium. Vitamin C helps absorb calcium and magnesium. Another important note, if you take zinc as supplement, consume it away from those two as they compete with one another. And moreover, the ideal calcium to magnesium ratio is 2:1. For example, if you take 500 milligrams of calcium, take 250 milligrams of magnesium. Together, they regulate heart and muscle contractions. Calcium is responsible for contractions and magnesium is a relaxant. By the way, calcium and magnesium are both alkaline minerals, so don't take them with or right after meals, as they can reduce stomach acid and are overall poorly absorbed when taken with food. Before I move on with additional options, I need to note that you should consider these supplements only in case you've already tried all the behavior tools, plus vitamin C, calcium and magnesium, and still find that you have trouble sleeping. That being said, you can add 500 milligrams of L-Tryptophan or 5-HTP, which is hydroxytryptophan, and increasing the dosage, if necessary, by 500 milligrams every 3 days up to 2000 milligrams. If you still have no relief, try an herbal sleep-inducing formula, beginning with 1 or 2 capsules and building up if needed. I'll add a sleep aid nutrient cocktail in the blog post, the link of which will be in the description of this podcast episode, and you will be able to see which supplements in which dosage it is recommended to take. Now a bit more about tryptophan. Because other amino acids, such as tyrosine and phenylalanine, compete for absorption with tryptophan, tryptophan actually must often be taken as a supplement to increase its blood levels. Usually 1 to 2 grams of L-tryptophan are needed to induce sleep. However, maintain the lowest dose that works, often as little as 500 milligrams, and it can be repeated if you wake in the middle of the night. Initially take 1 gram of L-tryptophan 30 to 45 minutes before bed, and it should reduce the time it takes to fall asleep. Next comes L-theanine. It's an amino acid that has a calming effect. If you have a very stressful period, you can take it before bed and again in the morning. It doesn't make you dizzy, but simply calmer. I found it very helpful when I was going through a stressful period in spring. It works by altering brain levels of serotonin, and in this way it changes nervous system balance for better. By the way, it's naturally found in green tea as well. And it's noteworthy that matcha contains up to 5 times as much L-theanine as regular green tea, 20 milligrams versus 4 milligrams. So, greetings to all matcha lovers like myself. But, there's a but. It depends greatly on the quality of matcha you use. In order to have stress-inducing effect, the matcha powder needs to contain at least 17 milligrams per gram of theanine. In a study where 76 matchas marketed in Japan and 67 matchas marketed overseas were tested, 50 out of 76 in Japan met the criteria, whereas only 6 out of 67 marketed overseas met this condition. In addition to this, the molar ratio of caffeine and 𝐥𝐬𝐧𝐤𝐬, which is a unique plant compound thought to reduce inflammation, aid weight loss, and help prevent heart and brain disease. So the ratio of caffeine and 𝐥𝐬𝐧𝐤𝐬 to threonate and arginine, the second most important amino acid in matcha tea, might need to be lower than 2. The result indicated that 32 out of 76 samples in Japan met this condition, and only 1 sample sold overseas. Unfortunately, the study didn't reveal the matcha brands, however, opt for high-quality Japan ones that cost more. At the moment, around €20 per 30 grams is a decent price. Cheaper than that, and it gets a bit dodgy. If you want to be sure, you can contact the seller or producer and ask whether they have tested their powder for theanine, arginine, and 𝐥𝐬𝐧𝐤𝐬 content. Moving on. Melatonin can also be taken to induce sleep, but only occasionally. If you take it over long periods of time, it might cause problems. So it's best to leave it for acute stress periods or for when you need to overcome jet lag. It should actually be recommended to adult travelers flying across 5 or more time zones, particularly in an easterly direction, and especially if they have experienced jet lag on previous journeys. Anyway, take it with caution and stick to low doses, 1 to 3 milligrams, on short-term basis only. I had acute stress in spring and took advantage of melatonin, and it worked well. Now I take it maybe a few times a month when I struggle to fall asleep. This usually happens when I go to bed way later than my usual pattern. Next, I'm going to share some useful information I picked up from Huberman Lab sleep episode. If you want more details, go and listen to it yourself. Namely, there are more advanced supplements to consider, like Apigenin, which is a flavonoid present in many vegetables and herbal spices, including parsley, celery, basil, chamomile, cilantro, and oregano, and GABA, gamma-aminobutyric acid, which is a neurotransmitter, and then Myo-Inositol, B8 vitamin, and Glycine, also an amino acid. As it turns out, a basic sleep regimen would be to take a combination of magnesium, threonate, apigenin, and theanine. And it seems to be effective, or you can also try just one of them. Now, every 3rd or 4th night, you can also add 2 grams of glycine and 100 milligrams of GABA, in addition to the above stack. Myo-Inositol is another interesting supplement. It makes it easy to fall back asleep when you need to go to bathroom at night. But it should be taken away from GABA and glycine. So you can take it with the usual regimen pack, which was magnesium threonate, apigenin, and theanine, but away from glycine and GABA. It's important to note that this is all very advanced, and for those who are interested in biohacking, it's sufficient to start with behavioral techniques and more common supplements like magnesium and calcium. Magnesium can also be magnesium glycinate, doesn't have to be threonate. Now, this episode has been packed with a lot of information. In short, just to remind you the main points, our bodies operate on a natural 24-hour clock that is known as the circadian rhythm. It is our internal timekeeper, and it regulates various bodily functions from hormone secretion to metabolism. When you respect this rhythm, you ensure that your body and mind operate at their peak, and you enhance your overall well-being. It's worth emphasizing once again that sleep isn't just about resting. It's a time when your body repairs and rejuvenates. Quality sleep helps with better memory, supports immune function, and balances hormone levels. If you disrupt your sleep-wake cycle or consistently miss out on quality sleep, you will lead yourself to physical and mental problems. I hope you took your gems out of this episode. I certainly enjoyed putting it together and learned a lot along the way. And please share your thoughts either via DMs or comments if the platform allows you to, or simply rate my show so that more people can discover it. And again, I feel guided to end the episode with the following mantra. You are light, you are bright, you are beautiful, you are strong, you are kind, 𝐿tryptophan.